structures of this PowerPoint. First, at the beginning, I would like to share snapshots in the Indonesian aspects, Netherlands, and then after that, findings. And then I will address the questions, benchmarking, or self-contemplating, and then in the final, I would like to share my opinion about the initiative that we can conduct. So I fully agree with the previous speakers that said we have talent more on speech than in writing. So according to this, it's also mentioned by Andrea Hirata. We as Malays talent more on speaking, not writing. And then on the second part, that's the one part. In the second part, this first point will be related to the second point. And we will less clear in visualizing our idea. And it will become to the third point. Because we aware that we are not clear enough in writing, then we are reluctant to share our findings of our research. That's why sometimes there are some researchers already happy with only producing the research paper without publishing it. But that's only one possibility. We have also another possibility. I sincerely apologize. It is called by, I raise questions, or it is a part of intellectual masturbation. This is not my word actually. This is professor inauguration speech as a professor of sociology in the University of Gajah Mada in 2012. He said that he criticized very hard his colleague, or also, not only in UGM but also in other universities, that they try to produce, they try to connect their research, and then it is interviewed by their colleague, and then after that it is published by their own journal, and then after that they read by themselves. And he said that this is intellectual masturbation. Yes, number three. And number four, due to these problems, the result cannot be validated or cannot be referred, because it is not, it will be very hard for us to find the previous research result. It is not online. It is not. It is hard to find. It's really there. And all of these problems, strengthening the problems in here, the fragile foundation for the knowledge. Okay. Yeah, that's cultural problems, and we have also structural problems. In some institutions, we have a problems in seeking the data. So we can compare it in DPR, KPK, and Statoil. Yeah, I conducted three examples. In DPR, it is really hard for get data, and it's also highlighted by Indonesian Institute. He claimed also that that's the problems. Yeah. And because it's hard to enter in some institutions, some researchers are also reluctant to give their research result to give feedback to that institutions, that object, because they are afraid that they will not obtain permission in the future. And some of also researchers also have a pre-assumption that their research will not be read or considered. So it highlights our problems, that we have a trust as a problem. So according to I'm a Simelian, George Simmel, he has mentioned that trust acts as the bridge between the known and to become known. There are no trust each other, so we never obtain the bridge. That's the problem. So in a bigger picture, it reflects that we have some problems that already mentioned, and we can also already see the effects. But the correlation between cause and effect is not linear. It's not one way. But the causes also causes that makes effects, and effects strengthening the causes itself, and it will become a loop that become the highest of our problems. Well, actually, in Netherlands, in my opinion, they don't have that researchers have more self-esteem, so they share their ideas, they try to obtain data, they try to share their findings with research. The government are also more open, so some of problems that are being highlighted before, it's not happening here. But we do share similar problems. Not in Indonesia, not only in Indonesia, but also in here. Usually we are taught to break apart problems, to fragment the world. So we lose our intrinsic sense of connection to a larger whole. So we say that we try to reassemble the segments, and therefore the task is future. So we sometimes we research some problems, but the problem is not the real problem, the root cause. It is only the surface. But however, even though we share some problems, it seems that Indonesia suffered more. So, for instance, I would like to compare SIA. In SIA is intellectual property rights in Utrecht School of Law. They try to examine how if a robot if robot conducted a medical aspects to give a judgment or to operate or something, and the results is not as good as the predictions. Will it be there is the legal responsibility that is caused by the problems? It is bear by the robots, by the doctors, or by the people that use the robots? Okay, so that's kind of collaboration that conducted in here. Well, we still have a lot of, but I already remind my timekeepers. I think what we should do is contemplating, a suggestion to contemplate. Because, sorry. Yeah. This is the most important thing. There is no outside. According to Peter Senge, there is no outside. You and the cause of your problems are part of single system. So, I think what we should do is we should not always we are requested to make a contemplations about what is actually happening in the outsides and how we deal with it. Because there is no outside, there is no enemy outside. If no enemy within, there is no problems in outside, according to the saying. Yeah. And what we should, I would like to share. Can you remember that the easy way out usually leads back in? Also always the same. So every single solution that we address, when it looks very easy to be implemented, then probably it will result in leads back in previous. Well, because my time is up, so thank you very much for